It's been another week and it's time for a COVID weekly update. Tuesdays seem to be a good day for these because it allows sort of the weekend data to be smoothed out. Sometimes on the weekends, there's these dumps of data. Sometimes on the weekends, data and reporting slow down on vaccines or cases or whatever. So looking at it, Tuesday, Wednesday seems to make sense. And we're going to look again at cases to begin with. But increasingly, as more and more people get vaccinated, and getting the virus for the vaccinated means something much less serious than it used to for unvaccinated people. Cases may become less an important indicator than hospitalizations and, of course, deaths as our more important measures. But let's start where we always do with cases. Cases in the United States peaked on January 11th at the incredible and nearly unbelievable number of 255,000 cases per day. Since that peak, cases have declined about 78% to 55,000 cases per day. Now, 55,000 cases per day is still outrageous. And when we got up to 55,000 cases per day, we were completely horrified, and rightly so. Many never imagined we'd ever get to 55,000 cases a day. Remember, some people told us 15 cases will soon be zero. But right now, 55,000 cases a day means we're down 78% in about 2 months. So that's the right direction. If we saw another 78% decline over the next 2 months, we'd be at about 12,000 cases in mid-May. Now, it's unclear whether that's going to happen. The decline has already slowed down, but at the same time, if vaccination continues to accelerate, maybe the decline will accelerate as well. We just don't know right now. In terms of people going into the hospital each day with the virus, we peaked right around January 9th when 16,000 people were being hospitalized each day with the virus in the United States. We are now at 4,500 people being hospitalized each day with the virus. That's a decline of 73%. And then in terms of the total number of people in the hospital with COVID right now, that peak was also on January 10th when we had 124,000 people in the hospital. That number is down 75% to 30,000 people remaining in the hospital with COVID in the United States. And then deaths. Deaths peaked around the end of January at more than a 9/11's worth of deaths every day. We were seeing about 3,400 deaths a day at the end of January. Deaths are now down to an average of 1,282, which is still horrifying, but it's a decline of 63%. It's tough to be happy about 1,282 people dying a day of this virus. And yet we recognize that being down 63% to 1,282 is better than a continued spike to 1,282 in the sense that the direction we're going in is the right one. And remember that deaths trail cases by a few weeks. They're a lagging indicator, so we expect that deaths would continue down similar to cases. But at a certain point, as more people get vaccinated and people start doing more things, you may see cases level out because people will be transmitting the virus. But because so many people will be vaccinated, they're not going to be seriously ill. That may happen. We're not there yet, but we may be going in that direction. Now, lastly, vaccination. Vaccination, we want to see going up. Of most of these indicators we want to see go down. Vaccinations, you want to see go up. And we are now averaging 2.4 million vaccine doses injected per day over the last week. That is a number that continues to go up. Last week, we were at 2.1 million a day. Now we're at 2.4 million a day. And we have roughly 38 million fully vaccinated Americans and another 32 million partially vaccinated. That means about 70 million Americans are fully or partially vaccinated. These are increasingly good numbers to see. Now, one last thing. These are all U.S. numbers. What is happening globally with the virus? Is the virus growing or diminishing globally? And the answer is it sort of depends. There are parts of the world seeing spikes. Look at Brazil. Brazil has been one of the worst places in the world for COVID handling, thanks to Bolsonaro. It actually is now peaking. Brazil is now at the highest of its 4 or 5 peaks, with more active cases today than at any point during the pandemic in Brazil. There are some European countries starting to spike. Vaccine rollout has not been great in many parts of Europe. And indeed, globally, overall, cases are going up. While they are down almost 80% in the US, cases are going up globally. Cases globally bottomed out at around 360,000 a day. Not long ago, a few weeks ago, they are now back up to 430,000 global cases a day. Fortunately, deaths continue to decline, partially because many countries are getting better at treating people who get seriously ill, partially because the world is starting to vaccinate the most at-risk individuals. But deaths peaked around 14,000 a day in early February. There are now 8,500 people a day globally dying of coronavirus. So the takeaways are there's a ton of work to be done. Numbers are improving in countries that have done more vaccination, but there are still parts of the world seeing more cases. There are still parts of the world that aren't likely to get any significant number of vaccines for a long time. All we can do is go by the guidelines that our respective health authorities are giving us. In the US, it's the CDC. CDC urging caution, but opening up some safe activities for vaccinated people. We will give it another week and then see where things are. Today's episode is sponsored by Blue Chew, a unique online service delivering the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. And they're giving my audience an entire month's supply for free. Take a short quiz on the Blue Chew website. A licensed doctor approves your prescription, and the medication goes right to your home in a discreet package. No driving to the doctor's office, having a possibly awkward conversation, waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew replaces the entire process with a few clicks and way less expensive. And all of Blue Chew's tablets are made in the United States. So if you think you could benefit from an extra boost of confidence, go to bluechew.com. The link is under this video, and they'll give you an entire month's supply for free when you use promo code Pakman. Just pay $5 for shipping.